are 3 students at Manhattan College, and we will be talking about our experiences with the Cosmetic and Biopharmaceutical Lab here on campus. My name is Kelly. I'm a graduate student here.
My name is Gianna, and I'm an undergrad student here.
And I'm Sara, and I'm a graduate student.
And we will be talking about specific reasons of what drove us to cosmetics, as well as what this lab has to offer other students. So one reason why I particularly joined Manhattan College Cosmetic Lab was for all of the technology available to us. So for example, we have 2 pieces of equipment right here. This piece of equipment is a tensometer. It helps measure the surface tension of your samples, as well as a diastron, which can measure a variety of parameters, such as the force required to comb through a hair tress. Other pieces of equipment involved can be the rheometer, and we also have an automated formulation system called the Chemspeed Flex Formax, which is going to be the wave of the future in terms of research and development formulations.
One of the reasons that I came to study in this cosmetics lab is because of our opportunities to work with external companies. Dr. Amin has given us the chance to work with other companies in the research and development industry with cosmetics. This gives you the opportunity to learn how research is in the industry instead of just in your normal school lab setting. It also helps you learn how to work as an industrial worker instead of just a student.
Another really great reason to be involved with this lab is you get the opportunity to write publications. So these publications can be published in a wide variety of different journals, some are international. So not only do you get to write about your research, you also research other papers and you get more experience within the academic side of things rather than just industrial. Some students also get the chance to present their research at conferences. So it's another great way to get your name out there and also market yourself when you are ready to go into industry or go further into research.
We will be completing 3 different demonstrations today. One completing a shampoo formulation by bench, the other using shampoo again to show the use of automated formulations, and the third to create a chapstick, something that's simple and easy that you can make at home.
Alright everyone, so we are going to show how to formulate a shampoo on the bench. So we're going to make a pretty simple formulation. So we have 2 different surfactants, as you can see here. So what a surfactant is, it's a surface active agent. So these are a class of ingredients that are in so many products we use every day. In the case of a shampoo, surfactants are what cleans your hair and scalp, so they are able to remove the dirt and oil and anything that's sitting on your hair. And so the way surfactants do that is they reduce surface tension, so that allows it to pick up any of the dirt and oil that's sitting there, and they rinse it, or they move it away. And then you have to rinse it out when you're ready, when you're done. So common surfactants used are SLES and CatB. So SLES is an anionic surfactant, so that means it has a negative charge. Surfactants with a negative charge are generally the more strong and sometimes considered harsher surfactants. But they're really effective at cleaning. And then CatB is used in conjunction with that because it is amphoteric, so meaning it has a positive and a negative charge. So it can kind of counteract the harshness of SLES. So they're used together. In this case, these are 2 surfactants that kind of act similarly to that, but they're more bio-based. And here we have our base. So this is water-based, and it has some pH adjusters and preservative that were previously added. So to start formulating, we will add a stir bar to the base, and we'll turn that on. So next, we'll add our first surfactant. And as you the color changed a little bit and consistency. So speed that up. And we'll let that stir for about a minute just so that that surfactant will effectively go into our base. So we'll let that stir. And then we'll add our next surfactant. All right, so now that we have our first surfactant added, we're going to add our second one. So we can see how the consistency will change now that we've added that. So after letting this stir for about 10-15 minutes, we now have our finished product. So as you can see, it has some viscosity built. So viscosity is the resistance to flow, and most products have viscosity in them to make them easier to use, because as you wash your hair, you don't want to feel like you're just running water through your hair, something super thin. You want it to have some body to it so that it's easier to use. So this has a pretty moderate viscosity. So the products you would buy in store will also have other additional ingredients instead of just the surfactant in the base like we had here. So they'll have humectants, sometimes emollients like silicones to help repair your hair, and they'll have other ingredients that'll give it better appearance to what you're more used to. So another important thing to keep in mind when you're formulating a shampoo or any other product is the weight percent. So we had pre-measured out the surfactants we used, and those were based off of a ratio of surfactant we wanted. So the different ratios will give you different viscosities. So you could get something even thicker, something thinner, and that's really dependent upon the ratios that we use. And the active weight percent is important because you're not just loading a bunch of surfactant into a product. You have to consider how much you want to work with. And yeah, so this is our final product.
So the Chemspeed is a machine, which means that it has to be controlled by a computer. So when it comes to determining how much sample it has to pick up, where it's picking it up, that all revolves around a script. So a script is typically written by the user where it has the ability to specify if it's picking it up volumetrically or gravimetrically. So whether or not it's picking it up in milliliters or grams, it does have the ability to measure both. And if it does decide to pick it up volumetrically, how much. So you are able to specify which surfactant in what location and how much or how many milliliters of it will be picking up. Those samples are placed in again by the user after the surfactants have been manually added to the wells. But from here, you are also able to add whether or not the machine is going to be heating or cooling the samples. You can control how fast it is stirring or even how fast it's scraping. So the difference between stirring and scraping is stirring is similar to a star bar, whereas a scraper goes around the side of the reactor to make sure that everything is in fact being mixed. Now, as previously mentioned, a script is needed to specify the amounts and the temperatures or how fast you will be stirring your solution when it is being made, but you can also visualize the machine as it's running. So this is a overlooking of what the machine is doing as it's happening in live time, and you're also able to see when it is dropping the actual sample or the actual material into the reactor. You are also able to control specific aspects of the machine. So as you can see, this line designates reactor 1, and you can see that it is currently stirring at approximately 150 RPMs. you are able to change that down to 100 or 50 RPMs all the way back up to 200 or 300. So you are able to control all of those aspects right from this computer, and the machine will automatically update it. So as you previously saw, Sarah made a shampoo formulation by bench. This is another way that you can formulate shampoo is through automatic formulation. So this is the Chemspeed Flex Formax. You will see that this piece of equipment is able to lower down needles into wells that contain whatever materials you may be using. They will pick up whatever previously specified amount that you want, and it will then deposit it into whichever reactor is then specified in the script. So as you can see here, it is currently picking up some of the buffer solution that Sarah had previously used through the needles. Once it has collected the amount that was specified, it will stop picking up the sample, it will retract the needles, and it will rise and head on over to the first reactor, which had been specified. Now what we've seen so far was the buffer solution being added to the reactor. Then the machine is going to go back, pick up the surfactants necessary, add it to the same reactor, and then it's going to stir for whatever time was specified. That could be 30 minutes, that could be 2 hours. You are able to let it stir and then feel free to leave the machine and go accomplish other tasks necessary. So that's what's great about automated formulation. You're able to multitask. So this is the Chemspeed, and it's able to complete so many other functions in addition to these 6 reactor formulations.
So next we're going to make a lip balm, and our lip balm is going to consist of coconut oil and beeswax. We're going to stick our coconut oil in a water bath, which is around 75 degrees Celsius right now. Once the coconut oil melts, we're going to sip the beeswax directly into it. Now, beeswax has the effect of adding viscosity to our lip balm, and it also has the effect of being an environmental protector. Since lips are usually dry, it's not like normal skin where we don't secrete oil. We're using coconut oil to add in that moisture and to lock in the moisture that we want to achieve on our lips. After forming our lip balm, we're going to add a red pigment, which was iron oxide, and we're going to just give a little bit of a tint to the color of our pigment. So now the coconut oil has melted, we're going to add in our beeswax. And now back in the water bath. So now that the beeswax has mostly melted, we're going to add in a little bit of red pigment just to give a little bit of a color. We'll start off with a little bit just to see how much. Put a little more in. And we're going to put it back into the water bath. So now that it's a homogeneous lip balm, we're going to pour our lip balm into the little canisters that we have so they can dry. And there's our lip balm. So this is our finished product. When customizing your own lip balms in the future, you can use essential oils and you can also add a little bit of shimmer to it. And here we are.